Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Voyage of the Vintage Vizsla. Man, I really have some good stuff today. Most of the stuff that I have here, I really got a good research on. So, before we get started, remember, if you see anything in the video that you want to buy, I have the eBay store listed below. If you're a subscriber, you always get 10% off of anything in the eBay store. If you like this video, I'll give you an additional 10% off of the items that you see in this video. If you share this video, I'll give you another 10%. So that would be 10, 20, 30% off, 30% off. So remember last time we learned about how to do the percentages real fast? Okay, still applies. All right, now last week I did offer a challenge and I did accept it. I'm not going to show you that video yet. I'm going to do that later in the week, probably tomorrow or the next day, because I have some stuff that I really want to show you that is super cool. I found some things, a lot of things I found today, and then I found some things yesterday as well. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing I found is this cute little poodle. I know that poodles are something that people really like, so I just checked over it to make sure he didn't have any cracks or anything, so I knew it was going to be, and he's a good size, so I knew it was going to be a good sale. But I looked him up, Atlantic mold, and I think it's from the 70s if I remember. And other poodles like this, they have black ones, this white one, and they had like a tannish color one. Anyway, and they sell about $19.99. So I'm putting this guy for $19.99. So remember, if you are interested in a poodle, $19.99. I think he's beautiful, from the 1970s. That is vintage. Okay, I have been eyeballing this set of glasses, and they finally, I don't know if you can see it very well because they're, okay, so yeah, there we go. That's why people put their hand up all the time. So it's a frosted glass with the gold leaf, and it has a gold band across it, and it has the stemware. Let me go back a little bit here. All right, so it's beautiful. And there is a set of 3. Now there is a little bit of wear right here at the seam. Some of the gold is coming off of 2 of the glasses. One of them is in really good shape, the one I showed you earlier. But quick research on this. Let me tell you how I do research. I always start on eBay because they have what things sold for, not what things people think they're going to sell for. Well, they have what people list them for, and then they have the sold listings, and you can filter it out through sold listings. So I didn't know what it was called because there is no marking on here. So I just was like, I know this is frosted glass. I knew these were gold leaves. So I just said frosted glass with gold leaf. And these came up. They had some tumblers, and they had these right here. And I looked at the sold listings, and they had I think they had a set of 8 that sold for $25. So I have a set of 3 with a little bit of wear right here. So we're going to put this set of 3. Oh, I forgot to tell you what they are. They're Libby glass, L-I-B-B, I think it's E-Y. And there's another name, and I can't remember what it is. And they're mid-century. Remember from last week what mid-century is? Yeah, the 1950s. I knew by looking at them that they were some kind of vintage. I just knew it. I didn't even look them up in the store. I waited till I came home. In fact, I just barely looked them up. I think they are beautiful, and I am going to have them, the set of 3, for $9.99. I think that's a pretty good deal. Okay, I also have another set of 3. These are beautiful. This is ruby red, and this is a very thick, I'm going to tell you about this. And then it's got a long clear stem. Now there's a set of 3 of them, and I was a little bit because this thrift store, I got these today, the thrift store that I go to, they price everything. They don't put anything in a set. But only one of them had a price tag on it. And I was like, I don't really want to pay that much for all three of them. So I just kind of went up there and turned on my charm and said, well, only one of them was priced. Is that the set price for the set? Because it's a set. And she was like, yeah, I'll just give it to you for the set. Oh, I was so happy. So I kind of thought this might be Avon glass, because Avon glass looks like this. It's this ruby red, and it's a thick. It's beautiful. Even if it was Avon glass, it's still beautiful, still desirable. People like it. But it's not. Avon glass is all red. This has clear on the bottom. Not. So let me see if I can remember the name of it. It is called Cristel, C-R-I-S-T-E-L, d'Avers, something like that. And it is French, and it is crystal. Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful glass, and you can tell it's a little bit heavier. Okay, so you want to know about glass. Let me tell you a little bit that I have learned about glass. Alrighty, so first of all, this is a piece of what they call blown glass. So glass is like, it's kind of like sand, or it is sand, and it gets really, they get it really hot until it's like a liquid lava kind of thing. And they can put it on rods, or they can put on these long glass rods, and they can melt it, and they can blow it. They don't blow it with their mouth or anything, but you can blow it and make it into different shapes. And this is where you get these kind of ruffles. Do you see these little ruffles? Okay, so you get different kinds of ruffles and things like that, and it's really beautiful. Let me show you another piece of blown glass that is exquisite. I love this one. This is one that's from my personal collection, but if you would like it, I will sell it to you. So, and see how they use different color rods to get all this different color going on. So this is blown glass, and usually you'll see a little thing right here, and that's where it's cut off of the little rod that it's on. Okay, so that's blown glass. The next glass is pressed glass. So you have pressed glass. This is pressed glass. So this glass is stuck, the liquid is stuck in a mold, and it's pressed together, and you come up with this design that's pressed inside there. Then the next kind of glass, I don't have an example here. Do I? No, I don't. I don't have an example, but I'll just use this. Okay, so the next kind is called cut glass, and they would have like little cutouts in it. And the way you would know is if you were rubbing your finger in there and your finger's kind of getting a little scratch, that's cut glass. So what they do with cut glass is it is on the mold, and while it's still warm, but it's still got a shape, then they're cutting designs in there with some kind of tool. It's pretty cool, isn't it? And then the last thing that I know, there's probably other glasses, is called crystal. And crystal is very heavy. I have never had crystal in my life because we were always poor. We never had crystal. We were very poor and very practical. So we didn't have crystal. We didn't need crystal. We would break it. My mother's very clumsy, and she raised clumsy kids. So we didn't have crystal. And crystal is made with that same sand, but they also pour lead in there, and that's what makes it very heavy. You will know you have crystal because it's a heavier type of glass. This is very, very thin, probably a pressed glass. This is crystal. Okay, big difference here. All right, also in price is going to be a big difference. Alrighty, so that's what I know. That's what I recently learned about glass. All right, so since you've already seen this, I have two of these. Okay, do you see it? They're little tulips, and this is frosted glass. And this is what it looks like on the inside. Here I am again getting way too close. And this right here. And there's a small one that's about the size of my hand. And then there's a big one. This is like the serving dish size. They're exactly the same. They have that exact same pattern. It's a little bit frosted. I just looked it up. I said frosted tulip glass serving bowl. And several different things came up, and finally a whole bunch of these came up, and it's not marked anywhere that no. And so this is Macasa, and Macasa is a vintage brand. So this large one, $19.99. This smaller one, $12.99. $19.99, $12.99. Remember, get your 30% discount. Yay, yay, yay. All right, so now I got a little cool thing here. I did tell y'all about Monkey Pod last time, and I think I told you that they're not worth very much. Well, they're still not, but this is Monkey Pod. It's from the 1970s, handmade in Hawaii. I went ahead and picked them up because it's a pair of them, and they're little pineapples. And when I looked them up, they were going pretty good, about $12.99 for the pair. So they are Monkey Pod. Monkey Pod is the type of wood it's made out of. It's very, very pretty. It's like it's not a heavy wood. You wouldn't want to, you know, build furniture with it, but, you know, for eating and stuff. And you could put your, you know, put your little ice cream or whatever in there. I think it's pretty cool. $12.99 for this pair. All right, now I got this. Okay, it looks just kind of like an everyday vase that you get flowers and stuff in, which you could, but this one happens to be vintage. It is, well, anyway, I don't know if you can see it. You might can see it on the bottom there. Anyway, I'm not going to spend a lot of time. It's Brody glass. This is Brody, and this is an emerald green. I love it, especially if you are decorating for Christmas. This is great stuff, okay? But it doesn't go for a whole lot, because I guess because it's kind of plain. It was made in Cleveland, made in the United States, right there in Cleveland, and it dates back to the, oh gosh, I think it was the 70s. I can't remember. They had a few other pieces like this, but I saw that they didn't go for very much, so I just wanted to pick up one just so I would have one. Okay. All right, next piece. Hi, do you see me? This is super duper cute. I did not research him, but it does say on the bottom that it's made in Japan. So you want to look for that. If you're looking for vintage items to sell or to collect or whatever, that's what you're looking for. This is pottery. Okay, by the way, ceramic, porcelain, all that stuff is pottery. And it's kind of 3D. This little bird comes out, and look here on the top, and he's a little teapot. And inside there was this little piece of paper. I don't know if this has anything to do with this, because it says green and beige bird, and then it says Karen, and then it says April 1980 Midlothian. I don't know. Midlothian is a town around here, so anyway, I don't know. So I guess 1980s. It doesn't have any chips or anything on it, and it's got the bird on both sides, and it's a little teapot. Little teapot, short and stout. Yes, it is. All right. Leads me to another picture. Look how pretty that is. When I see this design, I'm starting to think, oh, wow, is that Italy? And bada bing, bada boom, it is made in Italy. I love this. I love this hand paint. This is hand painted. So I think I talked to you last time about transferware, hand painted. So transferware, they have little transfer, and they would put it on, and then they would heat it in the oven. And so you could get several of them exactly the same. This is hand painted, so they're not going to be exactly the same. And plus, this is going to be more labor intensive. So I think it's worth a little bit more. Oh, the teapot, we're going to say $24.99. And this little picture is going to, and it's small. It's not real big. See, it's really small, but it's very cute. I love pictures like this. And we're going to say $14.99. $14.99. All right, I have one more item. I have two. I do this all the time, don't I? I'm sorry, I have a sneeze in my nose. I also got this ruby red bud vase. bud vase. It's a vase. And I call it a bud vase because you put one single bud in there. You can put more than that in there. Whatever you want to do, it's yours. You could put fireworks in here if you wanted to because it's yours. But, and this may, I did not look this one up. So this one could be Avon. And it might be, I don't think it's the same crystal over here. But it's kind of a good weight to it. With no markings on it whatsoever. But it's very pretty. It was very pretty. So we're going to do this one for $9.99 also. $9.99. You guys are going to have to remind me what prices I put on everything. And then there's a last little item. I love this. Look at that scene on there. And it's kind of textured, like the scene is a little bit textured. It feels kind of like, it's like kind of like how corduroy is textured, you know? All right. So the bottom, I mean, you can see it if you hold the light just right. It says, oh gosh, what was the name of the brand? I can't remember, and I can't see it, of course. But anyway, it was made in it's made in Belgium. Okay. Now it's got this little lid on it. This lid is plastic. This is probably porcelain. This is probably porcelain. I thought it was just like a little crock or a little canister. No, no, no. You want to know what this is? This is so cool. It's a humidor. Yeah, a humidor. So if you don't know what a humidor is, that's where you put your cigars. Yes, and then you put your lid on there. That is so cool. Made in Belgium. Vintage made. Oh, I can't remember. I don't remember the date. Did I look up the date? Don't remember the date. But it is vintage. It is made in Belgium. It is beautiful, and it can be yours for $24.99. So remember, you can still get 30% off by doing those 3 things that I asked of you. Remember, so another day this week, I plan to do another video of my challenge. So I'm going to give you a hint. I went to 2 sections that I don't normally go to. And one of them is vintage toys. I picked up a few things. I didn't go crazy. And then I also went to Christmas. So I have a few vintage, and some of them aren't vintage, but I did pick up some Christmas items. So stay tuned. Keep watching. So later on in this week, I want to say tomorrow or Thursday, I will have the other video ready. Thank you for joining me. Make sure that you check out my eBay store. I also have an Instagram. I'm going to put it, I'm pointing down here, down below in the description. And if you want those discounts, let me know. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Love you guys. Have a good day. Bye.